Well, I had hoped he would have brought his, or picked up his lawnmower by now, but we're getting ready to get into this cold snap with that big snowstorm coming. I'd rather not have this here. And we got the wood set up. I mean, this is split and it's dry, it's ready to go, but we try to figure out how to explain this. We split it even smaller throughout the season, and we want to make sure that we have enough to get us through this cold snap. So we got a big pile in the house. We got this pile here that I'm going to try to get into the house or into here or somewhere. That way when it snows, everything stays dry. And then we got this that if we need to, we can split, and I'm going to tarp that up so it stays dry. So we should be okay for the winter. You know, this cold snap, I should say, with the snow. I'm not worried about the snow. I mean, we're going to go out Friday to pick up the supplies that we pick up every couple of weeks. We're going to go a few days early and just get that out of the way. But then I can just park the truck and not worry about it. I'll get an extra can of gas. I got one almost full. And then this one's empty. So when we go get the food, we'll get gas, which I do anyways. I always do that. And then I think we're in pretty good shape. You know, I was thinking about this, and all the preppers are getting on, and here's what you got to do to be prepared. And so they'll, you know, they got all this, you know, get your bloody heater ready. Have you even taken it out of the box? You know, that kind of silly stuff. And I mean, that's all. It was all good information, and it was actually a pretty decent video. But I think what aggravates me is he's criticized me before because I have a propane on-demand camping water heater. You don't have to have a water heater. So I don't need propane. I can cook on the wood stove and I can heat water on the wood stove and we'd be fine. I don't need it. But you know, that was his big critical point. Oh, and also that I have a truck. Apparently you can't have a truck if you live off grid. So I mean, it's just frustrating because, you know, he heats with propane and electric. So, you know, I don't understand, you know, I'm not prepared, or I don't live off grid because I got propane or whatever it was, yet he's got propane. So he's the superior prepper or whatever you want to call it, even though he relies on this stuff more than I do. One time he said, oh, I can't, you know, something about his dishwasher. Got to make sure we got to have that dishwasher running. Dishwasher. I got an idea about dishwasher. How about 2 tubs? You know, plastic tubs, so you can just put your dishes in and wash them like the old days. I mean, I didn't mean to get off on a rant about preppers, but it sure did aggravate me that he called me out. And, I mean, he doesn't have wood heat. And, you know, this year I don't have a backup heater, which, you know, I guess is a bit concerning, but I do have wood heat, so I don't know if I really got to have a backup heater. The only thing I have a backup of when it comes to the wood stove is the window itself. I have an extra glass in case that one breaks. Somebody asked, John asked if the glass had a scratch in it. No, there's no scratch in it. So, no, my biggest concern is I would like this to be the first year. Well, actually, it's already froze, so it won't be the first year. But the real hard cold snap, where we're out of. I got to be careful how I say this. When I say out of water, everybody's like, "Oh, you're gonna die." We're not out of water. I wanted to make sure that this doesn't freeze up, the plumbing. I want to make sure this is all wrapped up good and tight. Let me do that while we're sitting here since I'm looking at it. See, when the wind hits this, you want to make sure that it doesn't just suck all that heat right out of the tank area. Okay, so I have a small, I thought it was a 200 watt, but I've been doing a little research. It must be, I'm sorry, 70 watt, but it must be a 200 watt heater. So I have a little 200 watt heater in here that I've been using to keep the pipes warm. And of course that's taking a little bit more gas on the generator, but I'm okay with that. And of course on sunny days, well, today's warm day, so I don't even have that heater on right now. But on sunny days, if it's cold, I can use the solar panels. But at night, I turn that heater on and I run the generator. Now, you would think, okay, that's no big deal, but I've been talking to you a lot about how hard, I didn't know how hard winter was on generators until this year when I really started thinking about it. I just never thought about it. I guess I should have. And it's not like I've damaged or shortened the life of a generator. I mean, they've all lasted a really long time. I guess because I do good maintenance is about the only thing I can think, but running a low amount of energy on a generator, on eco, you got that eco, the oil never gets hot, and it makes total sense. I know this. I know how important it is. As a matter of fact, I think it was this last summer, I made a video, and I was driving my lawnmower around, and I said in the video, one of the important things is if you're just, using your garden cart, don't shut the mower off. Leave it running. Even if you turn it down, leave it running, because you want to keep that heat going in the engine. You want to keep the battery charged. You don't want to keep starting it because that wears out your starter. It's just a good idea if you're going to start the engine, to keep it running so it stays hot. I also know that short runs that on your car means you got to change the oil more frequently. So I don't know why I didn't think about it with the generator, but I want to make sure that when we get down, it's going to get down to -4. I want to make sure that we're running this hard enough that it keeps the oil warm enough that it will evaporate the water and the gasoline that gets into the oil, because you always get a little bit of that in there. I'm changing it every 25 hours, like I've said in the previous videos. And I'm going to put this bucket over it to kind of give it an air pocket above it to kind of help hold the heat in a little bit. But the biggest thing that bucket's going to do is keep the wind from blowing into it. You see, the inverter itself, not the generator, but the inverter, the thing that makes the AC electricity, creates a pretty significant amount of heat. So there's a huge fan in there to bring air across that inverter. What I would like to do, instead of just immediately cooling it all down, is try to retain some of that heat off the inverter and put it onto the engine. The inverter still will cool off because the bucket's there. Or I should say still cool off because the temperature is going to be so low, but the bucket is there. So it's not such a massive amount. It doesn't matter if the inverter gets too cold. It's the engine that I got to keep warm. Now, you don't want the inverter to get too hot because that will burn it up. Well, you don't want either thing get too hot. But at -4 degrees, we're not going to get too hot. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to suffer through this. I know that somebody's going to say, oh, you shouldn't have to do that. You live off grid, blah, 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 blah. Everybody's got an idea of how you should live. I would never live like you. Then why are you watching the channel? Don't live like me. Go live like everybody else. That's fine. I chose to live this way, and I'm just explaining what I'm doing. So there's only 0.6 gallons of gas in here. So just over half a gallon. On Eco, that lasts 11 hours. So I could put that in at 8 o'clock at night, 8:30 at night, and it will make it until 7 o'clock in the morning. But on Fast, with the Eco off, now it's only going to last 6 hours. So I'm going to have to get up in the middle of the night to start the you keep the, you know, to put more gas into it so it'll stay running. I have an alarm in the water tank area in the box that if it gets below 32 degrees, it goes off. But with it being -4, you know, if it goes off, that means I only have a few seconds before it's going to freeze because it's just that cold. It does not take long for things to freeze in -4. I mean, minutes is what it's going to take. So I would rather not. I mean, I could set the alarm a little higher, like, you know, 35, but I'd have to get up anyways and come down here. So I just, well, set the alarm, you know, about 5 hours in. That way the generator never gets cold. It just stays warm. And I don't have to try to reheat that oil. So so there, you know, limit the damage that you're creating every time you try to start a cold engine. And then come down here, fill it up, keep that heater running, and then I can also start the wood stove. I'm gonna have to start the wood stove several times at night for the next few nights. And you know, right now, last night I got down to 22 degrees outside, and I started the wood stove a little bit early. I think it was like 5:30. So 5:30, started the wood stove, got up at 4:30 this morning, and it was 54 degrees in the house. I know a lot of people are gonna say that's really cold. You shouldn't do that. That's really, I wouldn't do that. Okay, that's fine. Stop watching off-grid channels. 54 is not terrible. You wrap up in blankets and you're actually kind of warm. You know, I have 3 layers of blankets. I have the blanket that Carolyn and I share, and then I have an extra blanket that I fold in half and just cover over me. And the reason I do that is Carolyn only needs the 1 blanket. I even asked her this morning, were you cold? No. So, but I get chilly, so I have 3 layers of blanket. And I'm fine. The dogs seem fine. They don't seem to care. So I know that when I lived in an old 100-year-old house, you had the regular furnace and all that stuff, my wife would turn down the heater every night, down the, you know, down all the way down to the lowest setting. And we just wrapped up. And then of course we get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, turn the heater back on. And I think we saved electric, but that's not what we're trying to do here. Just, you know, I'd rather not get out of bed if I don't have to, type of thing. So that's my biggest concern, is the generator. You know, the preppers are worried about, you know, making sure they got the buddy heater running. I'm not even worried about that. I'm just want to make sure that this stays warm. And these are the things that preppers don't talk about. They talk about having a generator and talk about making sure the generator runs, but they don't talk about the damage they're going to create in one ice storm to their generator. So they'll be out next year buying a new one. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a video over my other channel. We appreciate it. Go check it out. So if I can inspire you, make it through the storm so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.